This is a play that unfolds over email. It's called Letters to an Old Poet. Dear Mr. Brashevsky, this is Kenny, your pen pal. My civics class with Sister Connie is over, and I am no longer in elementary school. I am now in middle school, and we do not write to pen pals anymore. So there is no need to write anymore. Sincerely, Kenny Hogan, Homeroom 214. Dear Mr. Hogan, I apologize for the lateness of my reply. I am afraid I lack the necessary implements for writing, quiet and solitude, and an incidental hour. I must say I will miss our correspondence. I shall never forget the first email message. I like chicken nuggets. Do you have chicken nuggets in Stania? I remember being touched by your beautiful concern about my country. If one were to rely on the images conveyed through our state media, one would assume that the terrible economic sanctions that your country has imposed on us would be of no concern to your citizenry. But here was an American who understood and who could express his feelings with a keen sense of irony. Yes, medicine is not getting through, and hundreds of children suffer, but still the chicken nuggets arrive. How true. The global corporations continue their Americanization, so all must be well, yes. I will miss your witty reposts. So long, Mr. Hogan. Sincerely, Mishla Brachevsky. Dear Mr. Brachevsky, okay, look. I'm in middle school now. I have a different teacher each class, and I have a locker, so stop sending emails. I don't have to write back anymore. P.S. For a foreign guy, you write funny. I figured it'd be all me-like email. Whatever, Kenny Hogan. Dear Mr. Hogan, your compliment of my grasp of English found me at a most opportune time. Funding for the poetry department here at the university has been cut drastically while funds are diverted to rebuild the infrastructure of our fine country. Unfortunately, this means that my position as professor of English literature has been eliminated, and just when I feared banishment from the circle of writers, along comes a missive from my writer friend in America. Are you still hoping to be a writer of American-style movies about monsters from outer space? I wonder if you've read the works of Konstantin Orlander, especially his short story, A Hand from Space. If not, you must immediately. A world of immensity will open up for you. His influences, I am sure, will spill into the very fabric of your work, and you shall succeed as a writer extraordinaire. I fully expect to see you someday in the Charlie Rose program, a program I purchase on bootlegged VCR tapes from the West, as discussions of art are confined in this country to gentlemen such as yourself and I, Mr. Hogan. We have no Charlie Rose, no Bernard Pivot, indeed, no electricity on most days. I write this by candlelight, I must confess, and pass it to my friend Hoshka, who has an internet cafe with its own generator. How well. The best to your family. Is your father still a Hollywood agent? Sincerely, Mishla. Dear Mr. Brachevsky, look, I was only writing to you because Sister Connie said if I didn't, I would get a demerit, and 5 demerits go on your permanent record. Now I'm in middle school where we know the permanent record thing is a scam. So stop writing. P.S. Yes, my dad is still a TV agent. He represents the lady that dates the tall guy's friend on the hills. And that's the last thing I'm writing to you, so enjoy it, Kenny. Dear Mr. Hogan, I'm glad to see your family situation is stable. Things here are more up in the air, as I'm sure the newscasters in your country put it when they report on the calamities your foreign policy is causing in our humble nation. I'm afraid our television stations have been seized by guerrillas loyal to those who oppose the leadership installed by your government, so I have no hope to see this hills you speak of. But I hope you will soak up the intoxication and stimulation I am sure the program provides. Meanwhile, I'm sending along a reprint of a small satirical poem of mine which has lately been published in the periodical Decklinde Protenstein. I think it will convey to you the depths of feeling that I know both of us share, about the permanence of records, about the fleetingness of art, about the fears that only writers such as ourselves can truly understand. Mishla. Dear Mr. Brachevsky, stop writing me, stop writing me, stop writing me, stop writing me, Kenny. P.S. Stop writing me. Dear Mr. Hogan, wonderful news. My small poems have somehow reached an audience much broader than I had first assumed. My fellow countrymen are turning to them for solace and indeed even inspiration. I'm being urged to play a larger role than I had ever anticipated in the upcoming elections. I've been nominated to head the opposition party. I owe so much of it to you and your inspiring letters, which is why it pains me to say this. Your writing of late has become monotonous, one-dimensional, You take a theme and repeat it ad nauseum. I hope you do not mind the criticism. Our friendships have been based on truth, so I feel I must point this out. I'm certain you shall solve the problem, but I'm also certain that rallying my country to overthrow its oppressors will leave me much too tired to join you as you struggle through your writer's block. I'm afraid we're going to have to put an end to our correspondence. I hope you'll understand. Misha. Dear Mr. Bachevsky, you're cutting me off? I'm the one who's cutting you off, okay? Also, you're crazy if you think I'm the one whose writing is monotonous. At least I don't put stuff like ad nauseum in my letters. I have to look up half of what you say on Google, and half of that isn't even on Google, so that tells you something right there. By the way, my dad says he's going to slip some of my writing to the showrunner on The Hills. That's how good I am. So who's the big-time writer now? Bet you're wishing you were still my pen pal now, huh? Too bad, so sad, Kenny Hogan. Dear Mr. Hogan, unfortunately, as elections near, I am unable to continue our correspondence. I'm afraid it would be unseemly to call on my fellow countrymen to rise up against your nation while simultaneously emailing one of its citizens. But I've enjoyed our relationship. So long, my friend. May success be yours. Wisla Bachevsky. Dear Mr. Bachevsky, I spent an entire year sending you an email a week, and now you think you're Mr. Hot Stuff because you got a new job? Well, my dad got a new job too. He's head of development at the CW, and he says he's going to give me a pilot so that the voice of the kids of today are being shown. No more old guys writing for kids. Let the kids do the writing. So good luck if you ever try to sell your stuff in Hollywood. You are officially too old. Ha ha, Kenny Hogan. Dear Mr. Hogan, I'm not sure you understand. I can no longer be your pen pal. You don't have to write back, so don't. Sincerely yours, President Wisla Bachevsky. Dear Jerky Jerk, you are a jerk. Sincerely, Kenny Hogan. Dear Mr. Hogan, whatever, Wisla.